What's up YouTube? So today we're going to be talking about a fish that I have a love-hate relationship with, and that is the filament barb. Filament barbs have a scientific name, Dawkinsia filamentosa. First, we're going to be talking about the activity level of this fish. This fish, as most barbs are, adds a lot of activity in the tank because they're always moving around. You can always see them in front of the glass of the tank. They're always just swimming around and waiting for food. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you would know that I actually have a lot of angelfish in this tank, and they are more of a graceful swimmer instead of being very active. Filament barbs are usually mid-level swimmers. That means they occupy the same space as giant danios, roseline sharks, and Congo tetras. Now we're going to be talking about the size that this fish get. Some people online will say they would go around 7 inches, but after asking owners from forums and other social media, they actually say that the biggest that they have is around 5 inches. With the activity level and the size that this fish get, it's actually safe to say that you would need a bigger tank for this fish. The longer the tank size, the better. I suggest a 55-gallon as a minimum. But keep in mind, this fish is very fast moving, so you would have to have a long tank. I actually used to have this fish together with my Mako, which is an Odo pike, in the 150-gallon. But I realized that they are very shiny fish, especially when they are juvenile. This makes them really good target for predatory fish such as an Odo pike. That leads us to the next topic, which is choosing tank mates for filament barbs. I personally think that there's different categories when choosing for a tank mate for this specific species. First is the size of the tank mate. Get something really small and the filament barbs are probably going to eat them. Get something too big and the filament barbs are probably gonna get eaten. You also have to consider how fast the fish is. For example, you're not going to pair this up with a betta fish. Obviously, the betta fish is not going to be able to compete with the filament barbs when it comes to feeding time. I honestly think the main reason why the angelfish is actually working in this tank together with the filament barb is because the angelfish are big enough to defend themselves, and they're also big enough to scare the barbs whenever they're competing for food. If you're gonna look closely though, I do have small fish in here like the raminos, the cardinal tetras, and also some other tetras. And the reason that it's working is because I actually have a lot of hiding space for those little fish. This fish actually thrives being in a school, so the more, the better. The tank temperature for this fish is actually 68 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. As juvenile, they come in very basic silver coloration. They have dark colored eyes and they also have a dark spot near their tail, thus giving them the common name BLACKSPOT barb. They can also be found in several trade names such as Barbus filamentosus, longfin barb, featherfin barb, as an adult, they would develop greenish or yellowish sheen on the side of their body. The males will develop reddish dorsal fin, And the males will also develop white spots along their nose during spawning time. But obviously, the main feature of the fish is the dorsal filaments on the males. The females will also have the same coloration, but just not as intense as the males. I feed my filament barbs different kind of food, and that includes bloodworms, brine shrimp. I also give them pellets. I also give them flakes, and especially those that are made of algae, like an algae wafer or an algae flake. The main consideration when you're trying to own this fish is how good the fish is with regards to live plants. Based on personal experience, I think it depends on what kind of plants you have in your tank. As a good example, these S repens used to be in this tank, but they started developing a taste for it, so I have to pull them out. They have never touched any other plants in this fish tank. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button and fish out.